In August, the Elizabeth School Board voted to remove 19 books from its school libraries, books it deemed inappropriate. Titles included The Hate You Give, 19 Minutes, and George.
It's about a character who is in 4th grade who is transitioning.
Superintendent Dan Snowberger and District Public Information Officer Jeff Maher say this book was available to kids as young as 5 years old.
She immersed her body in the warm water and tried not to think about what was between her legs.
Before making it official, the district sought community input.
We provided a display for 25 days for families in the community to come and review them, read them, and give the board feedback. Overwhelmingly, the community said we don't feel these books have value and should be removed from our library.
4 months later, the ACLU sued on behalf of 2 students, the NAACP and the Authors Guild. Lawyers argued removal of the books violated students' First Amendment rights to access different information and ideas. A district judge agreed and ordered the books be returned. Now, after some legal back and forth, the books are back on school shelves, while the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals considers the case.
Part of the litigation has really been around what is the right of a school board to curate its content. We feel very strongly that the libraries in our district are part of the curriculum resources. And so our board's view and my view is that the materials contained in our library should support our curriculum. And needless to say, the books that were removed did not.
Associate Dean and Professor at Regent University School of Law, Brad Jacob, says in a situation like this, judgment calls have to be made.
There could be illegal reasons why a decision is made. If a school district says, we're not going to allow any books that show Black people, we're just going to have no books about Black people in our library. You're going to say, okay, that looks like race discrimination, looks like we've got an Equal Protection Clause challenge. But in general, the decisions about what books will be most helpful, what will most of our students gain from having on the shelf, and what is appropriate for them to read in this school, elementary, middle school, high school, those are for school authorities to make based on the input that they get from their community.
For Snowberger, it's as simple as letting parents do the parenting.
We want children to come to school with the values they have at home and go home with those values. It's not our job to change them. It's our job to teach children to read, write, do math, learn science, civics, and social studies.
For now, the case remains in a holding pattern as the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals considers both sides. We expect the court to make either a ruling or decide to hear further arguments within the next few weeks. Jenna Browder, CBN News.
Gordon, judicial activism or parental rights?
Well, I think it's just absurd that a court would come in and mandate to a school district, you have to carry these books and base it somehow on the First Amendment. Well, if you're going to have that kind of expansive view of the First Amendment, then essentially you're going to require every library in every school district to carry every single book that's ever been published. That there is no ability of the school board to come in and curate. It makes no sense. And this is one of those you've got to be kidding me moments where when does common sense rule that of course a school board has the ability to curate what's in the school's library, and that library needs to reflect the curriculum that each grade is going through and be supportive of that curriculum. If books aren't doing that, then they shouldn't be taking up shelf space. The library does not have unlimited shelf space, and therefore curation is just part of the deal. To say it's a violation of the First Amendment just is, I'm sorry, I don't see where that comes into play. Here's a sort of blast from my past. In my high school, the principal got really incensed. There was a national news magazine that had published pictures from a somewhat controversial movie of the day. And he got so upset with that, he called a special assembly and told us all how horrible this was and how he was now banning that news magazine from our library forever. And they would never be, they would cancel the subscription, it would never come back in. It seems like we had a more sensible day back in the 1970s than we do today. But this isn't the school board's fault. It's our legal system. I have no idea how a federal judge got convinced that somehow the First Amendment was violated. But anyway, we'll see. This is why we have appeals courts. And I think ultimately this will go to the Supreme Court.